and welcome once again to House Proud. Today we're going to feature a home that actually has already been completed in its renovation process, and we've invited the ever so educated and, oh my God, this gentleman has traveled far and wide to get his whole architectural designing and everything down packed. He actually is one of the partners with the firm Harold Morrison and Robert Woodstock. So without further ado, the gentleman who has been practicing for 26 years in this business, Mr. Woodstock. Hi, Robert.
Hi,
How are you? Welcome.
Thank
You're
you.
not nervous, right?
Maybe a little.
Oh, for what? You've been doing this for 26 years, so it's going to be like chick feet.
Sure.
As we've established already, it is a renovation project. First of all, how old is the house before renovation?
The house, I think, was constructed in the early 50s.
Okay.
And we did a renovation around 1995. So we've had a lot of changes between the time that we actually got it and the original construction.
Right. Well, we know that it's also an expansion because it was originally a 3-bedroom house.
It was originally a 3-bedroom, two bathroom house, and the client's brief was to make it into a 4-bedroom house with a little flat, and to increase the number of bathrooms, to put in a powder room, and really to make the entertainment areas more accessible.
They're a party people. Anyway, we're gonna go to a commercial break, and when we come back, then you're gonna get a peek at this beautiful house. See you in a bit. Hi, we're back, you're back, and we're here in the house, finally. So Robert, come, we are inside the house now. We're now stepping into, this is the living room. You guys didn't do the initial interior design or decor.
No.
It was just the
The
structural
client
part
did a
of it.
wonderful job on
Yes, I
the
see
interior
that.
all on her own. What we did though, which was one of the main generators of the house, part of the problems with the original house was that the roofs were at different levels and the junctions were causing a lot of problems. What we did, we took the width of this living room and that became the generator for the house in terms of the width. The width of this living room is the exact same as the width of the bedroom block, which we're going to walk through, and it's the exact same as the width of the master bedroom block. And when you have all the 3 widths at the same side, when you go outside and you look, all the roofs are all tied together, nice and neat.
A lot of logistics before you actually decide to renovate. You look at the aspects of wind and water and sun and that
Absolutely,
kind of thing.
absolutely. And you will notice that as in most properly designed tropical houses, you have some vents in the ceiling
I'm
which
now
allow the
noticing
hot
it.
air to rise and come up through
out.
the house.
Right. Well, Robert, we have a lot more of this house to see, so we better get a move on.
Yes, let's get
Cool, let's go. So Robert, we've left the living room, we've come back through the main entrance, which is the foyer area, and now we've approached this beautiful atrium. Why put an atrium in the middle of the house, first of all?
That's a good question. What happened with Frank Lloyd Wright, all of his prairie houses had a central organizing element, which was a fireplace. Of course, the prairies, they have very cold winters. We need to adapt the house to the tropical setting.
Right.
And so the influence here was from Pompeii, where a lot of the houses had a central open area as you enter the house, which was called an atrium. And in the center, they had a water area which collected all the water from the roof, which was called an impluvium. What we thought here is, yes, we needed a central organizing element, but instead of a fireplace, we have an open space which allows light to come in, which allows movement of air through the house and up through the high space. And it also organizes the house into its various elements. From this area, you have the living room to one side, you have the service areas to one side, you have the family room to one side, and you have the private bedrooms to the other side.
So this is the core of the house then, in essence.
This is the
and
central
everything.
organizing element.
Right. Well, as we walk further into the house, we come to their dining room and this kitchen full of space and counters. Now I know there's a little story behind this because part was originally the helpers' quarters.
That's correct.
So all right, you tell me about that now. I want to know how.
There are a number of stories about this because originally there was a wall here, and the original design was for the kitchen to be in this space. But the client said that she likes to cook, she spends a lot of time in this area, and she wants a really nice space. So what we did was the original helpers room. We knocked down the walls for that section and moved the helpers and service section further north. Then what we did, because of the apartment that is on the little flat that's on the side, we had to raise the ceiling here so that we get some high clerestory windows, which bring in light and again allows the hot air to get out. The kitchens, what happened with the kitchen? We did a number of designs, but if you look at the kitchen cabinet doors, they have the same detailing as the windows for the rest of the house. She wanted a central island area.
Well, one of the features of this kitchen that I really love the most, Robert, is this. We all, well, women and men, love to display. We collect items over the years, and we love to do, especially the plates, there are a lot of decorative pieces that people normally collect. And normally what I see them do is they would put it in the wall with the little hooks and stuff. But this is quite unique because this obviously protects it from falling. And it displays it really nicely without, taking away from the body of the artwork. And then you were telling me, Robert, about this masterpiece here, the fan or the vent for the stove. Tell me about that.
What happened is that, as you know, the kitchen is one of the most important parts of the house. And this kitchen is really, we can't claim every single thing in the kitchen because there are a number of different people who have actually worked on it. Ideas from the client, ideas from the original kitchen suppliers, ideas from other designers, ideas from us again, and so on. Our original design was to have the range right in the center. And we had a really dramatic vent and hood which went straight up through the roof, because this is the highest point of the roof. That was changed, and a number of changes have taken place. And we've just recently put a new hood, which then takes it straight up again through the roof, but not in the center.
They also have a really cool wine rack that's built into this counter space because they love to entertain, as far as I understand. So hey, they need as much space to store the liquor as can be.
It's close at hand, so it's easy access to the dining room. As you notice, the kitchen is open, so it flows into the dining room. You can again see the central organizing element. The atrium is always ever present. And if you notice the quality of light and the different shades. And shadows, the greenery, and certainly the client has done a wonderful job in terms of the landscaping.
I guess this is one time you could say that not too many cooks spoil the broth, if you know what I mean, because many people played a role and had different hands in the kitchen. So now we're going to move further into the house. So Robert, we're now come into the dining area, which looks very formal, coming from the kitchen. To me, you have a good view of everything from the outside, inside, all angles.
I think that's one of the strengths of the house, is that you can see other parts. You can see through the windows. You have long bands of windows. Yes, the furniture in the dining room is formal, but it is not a formal room in the traditional sense where you'd open doors and go into a sort of a formal room, because it actually flows from the kitchen to the dining room, with the central organizing element always visible. And you can look down and you will see through into the living room. You can also look down the passage and see to the bedroom block, and you can look outside onto the patio as well.
Right. Cool accent wall, I must say.
It's a lovely color.
Yeah,
it was chosen by the client's daughter, I believe.
Oh my word!
Yeah, I think she did a wonderful job. And what happens, I think, the nice thing about these houses is that after 5-6 years, you can change the colors and you see new things that you didn't think of that really bring life or change. It may just be a change for change's sake, but it's still interesting.
Yeah. So Robert, we're gonna move now from our dining to the bedroom wing,
Right.
right?
On the way to the bedroom wing, you get a glimpse of the outside area, and this was was originally supposed to be an access to a entertainment pavilion, which hasn't been built yet. But I'm
Okay.
sure in time it may be. But you can see that the guests can then come and move along there without actually penetrating the private
privacy.
area. Another thing about this, remember when I said that all the widths of the living room, the bedroom block, and the master bedroom were the same.
Right.
The original wall was a lot narrower, so you got a very closeted, dark feeling. What we have done in order to get more light and air, we've widened it, and we now have a lot of windows on the side.
Cool. Okay. So we're now approaching the guest bedroom. I can stay in here. I can stay. So Robert, we're here now at the guest bedroom, which I think I'm going to be staying here tonight. Quite cozy. We're now at the entrance of the master bedroom. First up, the master bedroom on the original house. What was that like?
Okay, the master bedroom was extremely small. A lot of houses, the master bedroom was just 12 by 14. And there were no walk-in closets. So what we've done here, we've extended the house, and the first area that you come into is the dressing area, where we now have a nice walk-in closet. Dressing area, there are a number of designs for this. Originally we had a curved wall, and that was changed to a very low wall, and then we went to a sort of half wall, and then you have the nice walk-in closet, and then of course there's a master bathroom.
Robert, we are leaving from this nice little tucked in, because this is what I find, this is a tucked
Just a
in
cozy
bath area,
dressing-
cozy
dressing
dressing
area.
area, bath area, and we're going to venture into the actual
right.
master.
As we move to the master bedroom, we can see the edge of the existing house, which was right here.
Right here.
And would you believe that the master bedroom actually originally fit in that
In that
space?
space?
Yes, it was that small.
Oh my God.
Now we have a much larger master bedroom, which is around 15 by 18 feet. And as you notice, you have windows on both sides, so you get a nice cross ventilation. In addition, you have the vents at the high level, so you get the hot air coming out through the top of the house.
Hi, and thanks for staying with me on House Proud. As you know, we have Mr. Robert Woodstock here from Harold Morrison and Robert Woodstock's firm. Robert, tell me a little bit about your firm. You guys are not just architects. You do more than that, obviously.
We're predominantly architects, but we're also urban designers and interior designers. And we do a wide range of projects. I think the nice thing about practicing in Jamaica is that you get to do something as small as a little 14-foot shop and as large as something like an airport or a large hospital or even a small town.
Robert, I read your bio, and gosh, you've studied from the US to Mexico. Tell me, how does that compare to studying in Jamaica?
Actually, one of the great things about studying at the Caribbean School of Architecture is that during your course of study, you will go abroad twice. And one is usually somewhere in the region, and the other time you'll be going somewhere internationally. Our students from the Master of Architecture program went to Mexico. They've been to Boston, they've been to Savannah, Georgia, they've been to South America, they've been all over the Caribbean, Cuba. So I think studying in Jamaica now, I think is certainly more advantageous than a lot of universities abroad, where you don't get the opportunity to do as much travel.
With this particular house, what challenges you faced with your renovation, knowing that the house was built back in the 50s and now you're coming to modern day to come, were there any challenges, anything?
Actually, in the 50s was a sort of a fairly contemporary movement. It had an existing aluminium roof. As we discussed earlier, it had a gable roof, and different sections of the roof were clashing with each other, and it was quite annoying. So one of the first things we did was to try and unify the roof and to use a hip roof, which gives a more of a horizontal feel to it.
I know in the original plan, the garage was actually close to the entrance where the house is now. And that wing is what has been converted into a flat for the mum-in-law, or no, the grandmom. That's what it is.
That's correct. Originally, it was a garage, but even then it had been blocked up so that it was just a door and a sort of storage area. What we did was extended it, so we created a little one-bedroom flat, which has its own entrance, but you can also enter from the entertainment room into the little living space. It has a nice little bedroom, a walk-in closet, and bathroom.
As you can see, the atrium is behind me, and we have another very special guest. She is the owner of this beautiful house. I'd like to welcome now Mrs. Doreen Anderson. Hi, Mrs. Anderson.
Hello.
How are you?
Fine, Nadia.
I must thank you so much for letting us come into your home. I know from Robert that you were the one who did the decor pretty much for your place. I mean, some of your furniture pieces. I need to ask you so many things, but I know we have such a short space of time for this little program. How was that collaborating with the architect? And even Robert, in your point of view, because I'm sure there are examples where you can tell of a client-architect situation and boy, you bump heads more than time. You know, how was this? Because it seemed to me that you guys have a beautiful relationship naturally. So tell me a little bit about how you guys met and got into the whole wanting to renovate the house.
Well, my husband knows Robert, and we got together when we decided we were going to be renovating this house. And we told Robert what we wanted, and then he put it down in drawing. We went and we looked at the drawings, and he incorporated everything that we really needed. And it has come out into a beautiful home.
You guys really knew what you wanted.
Well, to be honest, Robert guided us along the way. We knew what we wanted. We wanted a lot of space and so on, but of course Robert was the guiding hand, making suggestions, which we went along with and which we're comfortable with.
I think one of the important things is that unlike a lot of clients that want so that every single thing that they've seen in every magazine in one house, you know, the Andersons were a lot, you know, a lot more precise. You know, it was a 3-bedroom house. They didn't want a 6-bedroom house, but a 4-bedroom house. You know, and then we were able to spend more time in looking at the details, in getting things to meet together, to create the sort of central organizing space.
When we come back, we go check out Doreen's garden. So we're here outside of Mrs. Anderson's home in her beautiful garden. At the back of me, actually, I can hear some wonderful waterfall. And Robert, earlier on you're talking about horizontal lines, and I know you're just dying to get outside because then we could actually get a visual of what you mean.
Yes, you can see.
Explain to me now, because I know Doreen, you would have complemented the architecture with your wonderful garden, so you now also have to tie that into. So the forum is yours.
Yeah, I think, thank goodness for Doreen, because what we wanted to do was to emphasize the horizontal lines. So if you notice that we have deep overhangs, the underside of the overhangs are boxed out. They're painted white, which reflects light into the house. Then you have another horizontal band, and then if you notice all the way around the house, there's a planter. Mm-hmm. Now, at first, Mr. Anderson said, well, that's going to cost too much money and so on. But as I said, thank goodness for Mrs. Anderson, because she, as a person who loves plants, she understood the idea of getting nature involved with the building and using the planters. And you can see all the greenery sort of strengthens that horizontal line which you see all the way around the house. And it brings the house closer to the ground and more in tune with nature.
What is your favorite aspect of this home?
Well, Nadia, I have to tell you, it's my kitchen. It's my pride and joy.
There are so many of us out there who want to renovate their homes, whether it be from a bathroom to the bedroom, but money. They financially don't have it. How, though, can they go around that and make it economical for them, you know, in terms of renovating, whether it be from a small to a big space?
I think one of the first things, once you consult your professional, is to establish a budget, a reasonable budget, and then try and focus or try and find something that's interested in the existing building, so you don't have to demolish as much as possible. And once you use that as a focal point, then you can work around it, and you don't need to demolish as much. When you're renovating, discuss and try and work out as many things as possible in the design stage, because any changes that occur during construction cost a lot more.
Well, Robert, I thank you so much for joining me today on House Proud. Doreen, this could not be possible without you and your beautiful home.
Thank you so much.
To my viewers out there, I thank you so much for staying with me. Join me next time when we go to some other house somewhere, God alone knows where. And as for God, may God bless your home. This is Nadia saying, until next time.